Audi Q8 2018 present. Isn't it amazing that when someone comes up with a good idea, everyone copies it immediately afterwards? You see it in fashion, cooking, music and cars. The Audi Q8 is a prime example of the latter, having been created to take on the BMW X6 and Mercedes GLE Coupe in the burgeoning market for luxury high-riders with a coupe-inspired styling. Engine choices are a little limited, with only a 282 bhp 3-liter diesel, badged 50 TDI or a 335 bhp 3-liter turbo petrol, 55 TFSI. Plus the bunkers 427 bhp 4-liter diesel in the sporting SQ8. The standard diesel is discerning enough, with smooth running at idle and under full acceleration, plus plenty of performance. The petrol offers punchy acceleration, but you'll pay for that at the pumps. Entry-level S-Line Q8s have near enough everything you could ever wish for, including 21-inch alloy wheels, LED headlights, Audi's virtual cockpit digital display, heated front sport seats and adaptive rear suspension. Pushing the boat out a little further are Black Edition cars, which have slightly larger 22-inch alloys, a black exterior styling package, a panoramic glass roof, 4-zone climate control and virtual cockpit plus, the same as the normal system but with a couple of extra views. Finally, the top of the range 4-sprung has cooled front seats, plusher leather, a Bang & Olufsen stereo and all-wheel steering. The Q8 has a sportier edge than the Q7, and this is reflected in its ride. It's never uncomfortable, but you feel lumps more, even when the adaptive suspension is set in its most compliant comfort mode. Handling is really rather good for such a hefty vehicle, with minimal body roll through the corners. Mind you, the Q8 is not too distant relation of the Lamborghini Urus, which perhaps explains why it's able to carve through turns with a little fuss. SQ8 models are even better, because it has active anti-roll technology that helps keep the car flat through bends. Four-sprung models go on stage further by introducing all-wheel steering, which noticeably tightens the Q8's turning circle. The Q8 has a beautifully finished interior featuring all the finest soft-touch plastics, leathers and metal finishes in the Audi parts catalog. The only difference with the Q8 is the introduction of Audi's new dial touchscreen layout. This replaces all the physical buttons and dials with touchscreens that give haptic feedback. It isn't as easy to use as the old rotary dial setup, however, and shows up fingerprint marks really badly in direct sunlight. Space isn't an issue for passengers in the rear seats, unlike similarly styled rivals. The lower roofline of an SUV coupe can eat into the headroom, but the Q8 is good for even tall adults. Plus it has a massive amount of legroom. The boot betters the X6's for overall capacity, but trails that of the GLE coupe. There shouldn't be any complaints from anyone in the front, though. The Q8 is a pretty recent addition to the used car market, but you shouldn't still give any example a thorough inspection. Pay particular attention to the wheels and tires, because even the smallest rims are 21-inch and it'll cost a small fortune to fit fresh tires. It isn't just because of the size of them, it's also to do with the fact that every model has 4-wheel drive, so you'll need to keep the same type of tire on all 4 wheels for safety reasons. So if you are swapping brands or types of tire, you'll have to change all 4 at the same time. Make sure the interior is in good order too, and that the carpets and leather are free from marks and stains. Also, the digital screens will cost a lot to replace if they are scratched, so make sure you clean them only as per the instructions in the owner's manual. There has been a problem found with the casting of the front shock absorber forks from the factory. This applies to a small number of Q8s built between November 27, 2018 and December 18, 2018. Any Audi dealer will be able to tell you if your car is affected. A small number of Q7 and Q8 models built between June 1, 2015 and February 28, 2019 could have a problem where the bolts connecting the steering rack and steering shaft can work loose. Speak to an Audi dealer to find out if your vehicle is affected by this, because it'll need to be inspected by a technician if it is. Oil may escape from a faulty joint in the gearbox oil line of Q8s manufactured from September 1st to December 31st, 2019. Speak to an Audi dealer to find out if your car is affected, because the line will need to be replaced to solve the problem. The Q8 is a little too niche to have appeared in the luxury SUV section of the latest What Car Reliability Survey. However, the Q7 upon which it is based scored highly and managed to secure second place overall. Audi's brand didn't do quite so well and only managed to finish in 22nd place out of 31 car manufacturers. That still puts it ahead of Mercedes and Land Rover though. At the moment, the engine range is limited to one petrol and one diesel. Of these, the 50 TDI diesel is the best option because of its blend of refinement, performance and economy. We'd recommend sticking with the cheapest trim S-Line, because it feels just as luxurious as the Black Edition and Vorsprung specs, but is considerably cheaper to buy. Our favorite Audi Q8, 50 TDI S-Line. Well, if you are the owner of this car, then please describe the problem that you had to face during the operation of the car. Perhaps it is your feedback that will help viewers when choosing a car. That's it for today. Thanks everyone for attention. It isn't much work for you to subscribe to the channel. See you soon.